hope you are well. Today we are going to do a video entitled Resculpturing You, and it is a meditational healing given to me by my guides this morning when I asked what everybody needs. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. I have an idea of what's happening, but they're going to tell me as we go along. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to give you a couple of pieces of selenite to hold in your hands to lift your vibration. And I'm just going to place my hands on your shoulders, and I'd like you now to grow roots down your body. The roots grow downwards and downwards and downwards through your body and through the ground below you, reaching deeper and deeper and deeper through the soil and past the rocks, pushing downwards and downwards and downwards until they reach the very centre, the very core of the earth, where they find a giant crystal to wrap themselves around. And that energy is drunk back up through your root system and into your body, giving you a good, stable foundation from which to work from. And now I would like you to imagine a spinning disc of light and love moving down towards you from the source. Watch as it envelops you and moves all around you, through you and within you, keeping you safe for the journey and the healing that we are to undertake. If you would like, take a couple of deep breaths in and really relax. And to cleanse your aura, I'm going to use this very heavy crystal tuning fork, and it is aligned to the heart center. If a bit of reverb occurs, just class that as cleansing a bit of negativity out. Okay. I'm just going to brush this down your front line and down your back line, down your right side or left side, whichever this video is showing, and down the opposite side, cleansing, clearing, shaking out anything that no longer serves you, anything that you know about and anything that you don't know about. It's still reverberating in my hands. Okay, now the verb has stopped. Right. Okay. So we've grounded and we've protected. So I'd just like you to let the scene of the room fade away and enter the temple of your heart. Set the intention that you are going to resculpture yourself, and I'd like you just now to to imagine that you are in a very white room. And there are various statues, some finished, some being worked on by master sculptors and their apprentices. There are all manner of tools, some futuristic and some very old, lying around this workroom. And your eyes come to rest on a piece of stone, unworked, that is the size of you. And this stone may be crystal of any kind, stone, sandstone, granite, anything you like. And the master sculptor comes over to you now and greets you warmly. He then signals to one of his apprentices to bring a chair over and sits it just a little way in front of this, with room for the master and apprentices to work. So you sit down comfortably, reaffirming the roots out of your root chakra. And breathe out for me. Now, the master sculptor picks up some of his tools and he starts working around the top of the stone. And he chips away, some of his apprentices join him, and he starts chipping away the excess stone. Very skilled, he works and taps away, just taking away any of the excess things that you don't need around your head. And he works at the top, carefully sculpting around the crown chakra, getting rid of any of that mistrust in the divine, mistrust in yourself. And he starts carving the hair, and you recognize it as your own hairstyle. And he moves down the face, tapping and sanding and smoothing excess stone away and out of your aura. Feel it dropping from you now. He's working around the face and the temples and the third eye area, sweeping away. The apprentices grab brooms and objects that we would know as sandpaper of different grains. He now moves down the chin area and the neck, taking negative energy out of the throat. And then he moves around the back, sculpting, sanding and chiseling at the back of the neck, taking care to leave the parts that signify your hair. You watch as he starts sculpting your shoulders and your arms, chiseling, cutting away the folds of your clothes. And you know in your body the places that hold pain. And as you see the sculptor working on these areas, you feel the pain being cut out of you. This can be emotional, sadness, anger, or physical injuries. Taking them away, shedding them onto the floor to be swept up and disposed of later. The sculptor moves down your arms, chiseling soft curves at the elbow and moving down the lower arm. And before he sculptures the hands, he just works on the other arm, chipping away, shaping, noticing the detail, which will be refined in a little bit, clearing, moulding, repairing. And breathe out for me. The sculptor now starts working on your trunk, the chest and the heart area. And you notice he takes a finer chisel out because he wants to be very gentle at this area. He calls over the master apprentice to help with this delicate area, sweeping away, cutting, reshaping, redefining this special area in you. Taking great care around the back as he works on things that you have been through that still stick to you, casting them away, letting them fall to the ground as the younger apprentices sweep them away with their hand brooms, constantly clearing, constantly redefining. Breathe out. Further on down your trunk, at your waist area, smoothing, tapping, cutting out things that no longer serve you. And as he works at the solar plexus center, you feel the heaviness drop away from you. That fuzzy, can't be bothered feeling falls away. The shape of your body is revealing itself. And then he works at the solar plexus around the back, cutting out and tapping away any of those comments that brought you down, any of those actions, even if it was your own self-sabotage, clearing, redefining, resculpturing. Breathe out. That's it, well done. Now the sculpture moves down to the lower part of your trunk, the areas of the hips. He looks at you, keeps checking his work with your outline. And again he really starts to chisel and take energy away from this sacral area at the back, at the sides, and at the front. All of those emotions, all of the sexual tension, the sexual hurt, anything that is connected emotionally, physically, and spiritually to the sacrum. Okay. Now the sculpture moves down to the lower part of your body, chipping away, tapping, smoothing, and defining your legs and the clothes that you wear. Very dexterously does he work. He knows his craft. And soon your legs, knees, shins, calves, and feet start to take shape in front of you. And soon you are looking at a rough outline of yourself, with all of those worries, anxieties, pain, and things that you don't like swept away, chiseled out. And now the master sculptor comes to you and he asks if you would like to help with your future. If this is something you wish to do, you nod in the affirmative, and he takes a hand and guides you up out of the chair. He takes you across to some of the sandpaper and tools. And he shows you the head area. You can just make out the features, but they need smoothing over and defining. You take the sandpaper in your hand and he places his hand on yours and you start to smooth out your features and your hair. Don't worry if you make a mistake, because we will repair this afterwards with the Japanese art of kintsugi, repairing porcelain and stone objects with gold, sealing the fractures and showing where you are not perfect, because your imperfections make up your individuality. And the scars are beautiful. You learn from them, and sometimes where we repair them, they hold together better than they did before. Smooth out your beautiful face. Look into those eyes. This is you. Feel how smooth you are. As the very fine particles make a cloud around you. They swirl, they change, they shift, they lighten before they fall to the floor. You now move down the body a little bit, and the sculptor tells you to stand back and look at your work. He asks you to scan down the statue and to go to a place that you feel drawn to work at. This could be your side, it could be the other side, the back, the elbow, wherever you feel pain, hurt, anguish in your body. And even if this is some illness that is carried around the body by the bloodstream, he tells you to work on the whole, just sanding the whole body. And as you do this, wishing for things to be corrected, rejoined, reinvigorated. And you do this now. Moving to that area you know that you hold stress in and hurt. I'm just holding the space for you to do this in your mind. And breathe out. Now the Master Sculptor points to your direction at the other side of the room where there is a furnace. And he tells you to go over there and to collect some gold and a paintbrush and cloth. One of the apprentices gives you this very hot, molten liquid now. It is held in a clay cup or bowl. And you carry this back to your statue where the sculptor is waiting. And he tells you to just look down and notice any flaws and cracks that you want to paint this gold over to repair. You dip the paint in and you start dabbing at areas. Put the paintbrush in your hand, take the cloth and wipe the excess away. And you will notice that the gold hangs at the cracks, at the places that you are painting it, repairing. You are repairing yourself. You're not passively lying there and asking someone else to do it. You are making steps to rebuild you for the future. Again, you take the paintbrush, dip it in and paint it over the other flaws and the areas that hurt you in your mind, body and spirit. You put the brush in your hand, you take the cloth and dab the excess gold away. And you carry on doing this for a few moments all down your body. That old knee injury, that old shoulder injury. Dabbing away the excess. All the way down to your feet. Then you give the tools to the apprentice. And the master tells you to take a few paces away from your statue. Look what the gold does. It adds interest. How beautiful you are, how beautiful your scars are. And then the master pats you on the back and he tells you how clever you are, how good you are, and how you can redesign and resculpture and repair anything. And if, like these old statues, an arm is missing, your opposite arm will take on the work and become more dexterous and nimble. And you will find ways to overcome these obstacles and re-smooth them down in the future, redesign them, paint them with the kintsugi, and give yourself a new lease of life. Breathe out. Then the master sculptor walks across to another part of the room and he picks up a piece of rock, the same colour as your statue. And he gives it to you now. And he tells you to place it into your heart. You thank him now and his apprentices. And you do take a last look at the new you. You have resculpted yourself. And he tells you to go back and sit down on the chair opposite your statue. And I'm now placing my hands upon your shoulders, sending grounding energy all the way down your body. Just visualize those roots growing downwards and downwards and downwards. As the scene of the sculpting studio fades away, and you bring yourself back into the here and now, feeling a bit lighter and a bit happier and even a bit more excited to find the new you. Breathe out for me. And relax. I hope that was all right. That was directly from my spirit guides for you today. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye bye.